class. My name is Ryan McCallum, and I conducted my interview by a gentleman by the name of Rene Martinez. Rene has been a colleague of 2 years. The interview was an excellent opportunity to learn things about Rene that I did not know previously, as well as analyze a few of Erikson's theories concerning the late adulthood phase. Rene was born in Mexico. He's approximately 6 feet tall, slender build, dark features such as dark speckled gray hair, which is thinning, dark brown eyes, and tan skin. When he speaks, he sounds very confident and experienced. He does a great job of sharing his knowledge and overall experiences about his life, and he sometimes acts very nervous and is always cautious towards his interactions with others. Rene was born and raised in Mexico in the 1950s, and he was born to both impoverished parents. Mother had only a third-grade education. Father was in the Mexican Navy. His grandmother raised him primarily as a young child. She was born during the early stages of the Mexican Revolution in 1908, and his family raised him to be Roman Catholic. He is the oldest of 3 siblings, 1 sister and 2 younger brothers. And because of the Immigration and Nationality Act of 1965, this created the opportunity for his family to move and immigrate into the United States. Therefore, in the late 1960s, he moved to Chicago, Illinois, where he lived his entire life. And he states his grandmother had the greatest influence on him and the most significant impact on his development. Primarily, his grandmother kept him out of trouble. He grew up in a very dangerous neighborhood in Chicago, and his grandmother provided really good influence on him to kind of stay out of trouble. He would eventually progress through school, in which he obtained his high school diploma, and he did not enjoy school, so instead of pursuing college, he actually joined the Army in 1973. Joining the Army gave him the ability to completely break away from his home without having to go to college, and upon completion of his service, he met his wife in Chicago. After many years of trying for children, they eventually were able to have a son. And Rene was at this point ecstatic because he was able to have that relationship with his son that he never got with his father. He relied and utilized many of the same parenting concepts that he got from his grandmother. The dynamic of his marriage with his wife was entirely different than the one he saw growing up with his parents. His parents did not have a good marriage at all. Love and respect were not the themes, but rather hatred, bitterness, disrespect. To ensure the quality of his marriage and parenting, he always sought after family-oriented events in the local community, which provided opportunities to create memories and develop strong bonds with him and his wife. Rene has had several occupations throughout his life. His first occupation that he can remember was as a newspaper delivery boy in Chicago. After that, in his high school years, he became a part-time janitor. He did not enjoy these jobs, nor did he enjoy school, as mentioned, so he did in fact join the Army, and after his training, he was stationed in Korea for 6 years. He knew that he could not remain in the Army to achieve some of his personal and professional goals. After his discharge, he went back to working as a janitor and eventually received better employment offers to work in factories supporting various industries. He progressed in the logistics field by transitioning to containerized cargo shipping with a corporation called Maersk. And in 2001, in response to 9/11, Rene joined the National Guard at the age of 46. After joining the National Guard, he encountered multiple deployments to both Iraq and Afghanistan. When he wasn't deployed, he continued to work at Maersk and serve in the National Guard until 2015. He was forced to retire from military service at the age of 60, and he quotes that, "With life, he has been making it up as he goes." Rene has been in retirement for 5 years now. He prepared for retirement by joining the National Guard back in 2001, as mentioned. He was able to fulfill his 20 years of federal service from both his active duty and National Guard time. Because of this, he receives a pension for his service. He is now he's one of the most optimistic persons I've ever met. Since being in retirement, he has found a new view on life, and according to him, he has not slowed down, nor does he want to. He's in the works of starting his own business, providing logistical liaison services for local corporations and hopefully large corporations at some point. He is heavily engaged with his wife, who is still working as an accountant. He enjoys working around his home, continuing to exercise as well, enjoy the various local activities the city of Chicago has to offer. He doesn't ever plan on stopping working. He enjoys working, and he likes to stay busy constantly. And according to him, if I am not employed in some manner, I will get very bored. The outlook Rene has towards retirement is rather positive. It is a good thing that he has goals and is active in this season of life. Renee has been married for over 30 years. His marriage has been entirely different from the marriage of his parents, as we mentioned in a previous slide. His marriage is one that is characterized by balance and equality. Both he and his wife support one another and actively seek to assist each other in achieving one another's goals. His parents' marriage did not have these qualities. Love was not present, and there was always poor communication. His father was very domineering and not engaged with Renee, the other siblings, nor his mother. This heavily motivated Renee to have a better marriage than the one he saw in his upbringing. Today, he is motivated to offer advice to those in their early adult stages. This includes his son. He has a very positive outlook on modern-day relationships and seeks to provide that insight to his son, who isn't married yet. His wife has worked since they have been together. Because of his upbringing, he has encouraged his wife to seek opportunities to stay at home more often. However, his wife did not like being a stay-at-home mother. Living in Chicago, he has a wide array of options for education and child daycare facilities. Because he wanted to give his son a better upbringing than he had, he put his son through private school. Growing up in the suburbs of Chicago, he encountered gang violence, crime, and even drug exposure. He is thankful that he was able to avoid all that. He has seen many of his classmates and peers he grew up with get engaged with those kinds of things and are now either incarcerated or they are dead. He considered this his greatest triumph. His greatest regret was joining the military right after high school. He wished that he pursued college before entering the Army. The advice he carries with him now and offers to everyone he talks to is simply live your life. Don't get caught up in current circumstances. You choose to be where you're at, and you can change your life. You can always find something better. Living with this type of philosophy has allowed him to stay positive and navigate through every challenge life has offered him. Here are a few of stages for Erikson's theories that I want to highlight. According to Erikson, regarding late adulthood, the challenge has to do with integrity versus despair. And Hutchinson in our textbook states older adults must find integrity and contentment in their final years by accepting their life as it has been, or they will feel despair. From my observation, Renee is doing a great job of resolving this challenge. He has very few regrets in his life. He is in complete acceptance of the direction his life has gone and where he is today. He considers himself as living a successful life and is thankful for the experiences he has encountered. He equates this happiness of his current state of life because of the success in his previous life stage, the middle adulthood phase. And as mentioned earlier, Renee grew up in a family with a struggling marriage. He had an estranged relationship with his father as well. And he made it a goal to have a better relationship and, of course, a better marriage with his son and wife. So Hutchinson states that in the previous life stage, the middle adulthood phase has to do with generativity versus stagnation. So the main point of this stage is that you can find success and fulfillment and pouring into the next generation, that you've lived a fulfilling life and that you've fulfilled your purpose, in other words. And that's what he has done. He felt like he's fulfilled his purpose in providing care, help, and wisdom to his son during the stage, and it's helped give him well-being in the current stage of late adulthood. It is such a good thing Renee has found this fulfillment and purpose in his stage of life. As an aspiring, helping professional, I have realized the importance the elderly have on society, and in particular the next generation. Many times it can be easy to deem late adults as serving no purpose because of their age, but we must realize they still have much life to live and much to offer. They have an entire life worth of experience and wisdom that many people in all stages can learn from. Thank you for tuning in to this interview.